everyone, and welcome to Sonic Squeeze once again. Once again, we're back. Once again, we're talking about music, talking about new albums. It's what we do. It's like our thing. So today we're talking about an album by John Grant. By the wonderful, beautiful John Grant. Thank you. And today, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of discussion is Grey Tickles, Black Pleasure. Black Pleasure? Ooh, Black Pressure.
We're listening too much to Miley Cyrus. You're under pressure. I know.
Grey Tickles. I can't speak anymore.
John Grant, Grey Tickles, Black Pressure.
Hold on, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Miley Cyrus had one of the best albums of the year.
The album title itself is actually pretty cool. It comes from the literal translation of an Icelandic and a Turkish phrase. Grey Tickles refers to approaching middle age, and Black Pressure comes from the Turkish word for nightmare. Oh, didn't know that, did ya?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I Wikipedia that too.
Damn you, internet. I love the album cover on this one.
It was kind of weird.
I know. It's like, I think it got across right away what the album was like about. It was telling you the album had a sense of humour. And oh my god, it does. It's a really funny album. What did you think of the introduction, the poem, the love poem?
I thought it was kind of weird,
I thought it was alright.
but I liked it.
As intros go, it's decent.
Yeah. I didn't think anything amazing of it, but I thought it was...
What of that particular...
That particular introduction,
You know what? It made more sense
if you could speak
When you
other
get-
languages.
when it gets to the end of the album, I feel.
Yes, no, I agree with that.
It also,
In context with the whole album.
I feel like it gave a kind of religious
album, if you
vibe
will.
to it, which didn't turn up for a lot of the rest of the album.
Yeah?
But it was alright.
Yeah, it was alright.
Had a
So-
cool synth bit at the end. I liked that.
Yeah, so title track.
Yep.
Black Tickles, a pressure. I keep reading it as pleasure now. It's getting
Black Tickles, and it was amazing. I'm saying it right
Black
now.
Tickle.
I think that song was amazing.
I think it's one of the best songs in the album, yeah.
Yeah. I think the
Great.
lyrics, just the lyrics on
Looks
this
good.
entire album are just insane. Insanely good. The songwriting, insanely good.
Songwriting is good. I liked this kind of sort of, it was almost Beatles-ish, a Rosie Rhodes sort of on-beat like keys thing that I liked. There was some nice strings work. I think the
Rosie
strings
Rhodes?
work on this album.
Is that what you said?
No, I don't think so. I hope not.
Rosie what?
Rhodesy piano.
Oh yeah, I heard something like
Yeah,
that.
there's sort of an on-beat Rhodes going through it, which
Yeah.
sounded kind of Beatles-ish.
Yes. That was awesome. It introduced the rest of the album absolutely perfectly. Like, it kind of covered all of the bases, and then they were further explored in
I think
other
it-
songs. It was like dark, gentle, beautiful music, and it was amazing, and I love him.
I love this song. This song is excellent. Definitely. I really liked it.
Yep.
And
Slug-
his voice suits the music perfectly.
his voice can just do awesome things. It's so versatile.
It's like a vocoder.
Yeah,
But
which I can,
real.
Yeah. Finally, an artist who actually does it
Yeah,
for
I know.
realsies,
It was
for truesies.
absolutely amazing. I love that song.
Snug slacks.
I like that. I like the. Hold on. I just want to say about Grey Tickle Black
That's the
Pressure.
next song, by the way.
I'd heard this song when I'd heard a
Snug
couple
slacks.
songs.
What are you talking about?
You
I
were
heard a couple
saying-
songs randomly
Yeah.
from this, just on shuffle and stuff. And this one was very much like those ones later on. And I was like, yes, this is the album, and I'm really excited for this. Then Snug Socks came on.
Snug Slap.
Snug slacks, you mean?
I mean,
I don't
it's like the
fucking care.
same thing,
And
technically.
and I listened to it.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I read
No,
Snug.
it's not.
I read Snug Socks. I obviously did it wrong.
Say you were feeling it, time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I like socks. I hated it. I hated the song. I thought the synth sounds
Get
were awful.
Out.
It sounds like he's just using
No.
presets.
Walk out the door.
It's so
No, no, no,
disgusting.
no,
It
no.
was
Turn
this one
around
was
now,
kind of
because you're not
funky,
welcome anymore.
You are not welcome
Kind of
anymore.
funky, and they had some cool vocal effects, but I just
Oh,
did not like
Gareth,
this at
no! It was like LCD Sound System, who are amazing, and he did it amazingly well.
I think
It was like
I think it
a
was really
retro dance synth, and it was pulled off with some amazing vocal backing.
It was so funky.
Vocal processing. The guitar and the synth was amazing.
It wasn't.
The outro was amazing. It was
synth
funky
was
as hell.
It was so funky.
9 out of 10.
It was pretty funky.
9 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Are we hitting the table?
3.
It was so messy.
3 out of 10. It was not
good.
messy at all.
What?
I did not like it at all.
It's like
I love the spoken
And
word
I think,
thing.
I think there are two sort of sides of this album. There's the Greater Cosmatic Crash sort of side with lots of strings and guitars and nice sounds, and I really liked it, and it was well written. And then there was the side where he picked up like an old Yamaha and played around with some presets.
And you gave it a 3?
I thought it was fucking awful, mate. I really disliked this.
Okay,
song.
I'm saying it right now. I thought that Snug Slacks was possibly the best song on this album.
Third worst.
Whoa!
That brings up a lot of questions.
There are 2 more that you would rate either as a 3 or lower.
Yes.
I'm
I
not sure.
am in shock. I am in absolute shock. The lowest I gave on this album was a 6. Absolute lowest. And I thought that I was being kind of too unfair about that.
All right, Gareth. How do
Anyway,
you feel about the relentless bass on Guess How I Know?
Guess how I know? I liked that because it used sort of guitar and it sounded like a bass guitar. It sounded pretty nice through most of the vocals. The drums were like pretty MIDI, and I didn't like. I thought they were really sort of simply done, but it wasn't.
Do you
super
MIDI?
awful to me.
Do you mean MIDI as in like MIDI, or do you mean
It's-
mid frequencies?
No, MIDI is in MIDI. It sounds they're very obviously Unreal. And
Unreal Tournament 3.
I didn't like when it chorused. I thought it was sort of. I didn't like the production on the chorus. I thought it was a bit messy. The vocals were really sort of just like garbled.
I loved it.
I love the
Again.
production all over something. It felt really personal, really
I
like,
really did not.
dude.
Half of this album.
I get the feeling like he's been in music for a long time.
He has
And it's-
been.
I know. I was like, is the
And I
front
get
man
the feeling
for,
this might
was
be
it
the first
Star?
time.
Yeah.
I get the feeling this might be the first time he's ever used a synth because he used
No.
awful presets.
I get the feeling he's been using synths for gajillions of
Yes,
years.
I
hasn't
feel as though
updated.
I feel as though his synth work on this album was actually incredible.
Oh, the fucking worst. So awful.
I genuinely think it was really strong.
Literally zero synthesis
Exactly.
on this whole album. It was just like all preset, awful.
Okay,
he was
sounds,
using-
and I
Wait,
hated it.
let's just go into the positives of Guess How I Know, at least from my perspective.
Can
Guitar
I guess
bass
how
is
you
nice.
feel about it?
The huge distorted guitar chords when the chorus kicks in, I loved it. It was like
Yes.
all of a sudden a massive
That was
wall of
nice.
sound. That was awesome.
Yes.
The dissonant kind of sound effects that were played in accompaniment to that, I thought worked well. It kind of gave it that dark edge which the rest of the album had. And I thought that it was a really good rock song considering the rest of the album. I wouldn't necessarily class it all as rock. Maybe like soft rock. But that was like a really classic kind of rock song. I love that.
This and the next song made me think of the album as a bit like Brad Sucks. I don't know if you know him, but he sort of has a similar sort of voice style. It kind of has a sort of country feel to his voice. Like
Yeah. That's definitely getting country
He has
vibes.
a lot
Yeah.
of those sort of distorted guitars. He uses sort of MIDI, quite obviously processed, like not incredibly intricate drum stuff on it. And I thought it was similar to that, except I feel that John Grant lacks all the subtlety that Brad Sucks has. A lot of the things when he has a synth, like, because Brad Sucks does a similar thing where he uses synths that I feel like will come from like an old 80s synthesizer or something, or just preset things. But when he uses them, I feel like it's very subtle, like in with the guitars. Whereas a lot of the time, John would have it as the whole song, and there'd be like a big sort of old school 80s bass thing as like the main thing to the song, and like a big, like huge, not huge, but loud synth parts that I just thought were really ugly sounding. And I feel like that
At
was
the
my
end
main
of
thing.
this song, there's a synth solo that I thought was absolutely incredible. And, well, I think it's this song. I wrote down synth solo, but I can't remember whether it's the one that I'm thinking of right now. But I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm pretty sure it's amazing. And it goes into some really distorted, like, degraded drum sound, which I like as well. Again, it gives this kind of edgy, dark vibe that goes throughout the whole album. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
What do you think about You and Him? Because I thought it was really.
I love
interesting.
that
thought
one as well.
That
It
was the one
sounded
that,
like it's a comedy song.
that was
pretty
the one
much.
that kicked me into thinking it was Brad Sucks. And it is. I do think there is definitely a point to this where there is every song has humour. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them are well written, vocally wise.
It had a really fat
This one was
sound,
pretty
that
decent.
song.
Again, distorted guitars, I quite liked. the synth on this wasn't too bad.
I thought that it had a very new
thought this was
wave
decent.
kind of sound to it. Kind of like the kind of punk, but early synth kind of sound. As I said, like the synths they used on this album are like very retro, and I feel as though it captured that new wave.
To me,
sound,
I feel it gives,
especially in the chorus.
I feel it gives the album kind of a timeless feel. Like it could have been like made any time in the last kind of 30 years.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it would still be fantastic.
Well, new wave started in like early 80s, so yeah, well, late 70s, early 80s.
Well, there are we. I
There
couldn't
we
tell in that song, You and Him, if it was two guys slagging each other off or if it was two guys slagging someone else off. I just love some of the lyrics in this though. Like here's one from the chorus.
Was it definitely two guys?
Yeah, it was two different people. Like I feel. Like
I know
it was two different
later in
people.
the album
There was another singer.
there's Tracy Thorn,
Hmm.
who I actually have an album by her. Love and Its Opposite, I think. Good album. Just can't remember.
But his
whether
voice is so
it was that
versatile. He
one.
could have just been singing with a slightly different
Maybe.
tone.
but the vocal outro for that
I
as
think
well.
I think it was just him.
okay.
For the vocal outro in You and Him, where it's cutting out, I think it was the chorus.
Yeah, but the
vocal
chorus
line,
kind of repeats
but
itself.
they removed a lot of the instrumentation, and I really, really enjoyed it.
You and Hitler ought to get together. You ought to learn to knit and wear matching sweaters.
I love
Love
that.
that.
That's a great
Yeah.
line. That's a great line.
I would suggest like anybody go and listen to that song just because it's funny.
Yeah, it's really, really good though. Really good.
Yeah.
At least in our opinion. Not
No, that one was alright. I'm okay
Okay.
with that. I thought that was decent. You and Him and Down Here, the next song, I both thought they were decent.
Down Here was just, I've written love with an exclamation mark next to it. That's how much I loved it.
down here at the start, I was like, oh, okay, so he's kind of doing more of an acoustic song now.
It
But
was
then
a country song.
developed. It developed. There was synths introduced in the second chorus. There was like a more full sound by the very, very
I thought this
final
was,
chorus. And there was like a brass solo in the outro.
And it was
amazing.
I loved it.
that
Really?
horn sound was so fake and ugly.
No,
I hated
it was beautiful and made to sound like
No,
it.
I
They had like
thought
this
it was
awesome
so
distortion.
disgusting sounding.
I thought it was absolutely
I
wonderful.
could not get on.
I
with
really
it.
like
I thought it
the
ruined
lyrics
song.
as well.
No, man.
Really?
Up
It
until,
ruined the
up,
song.
up until that
No.
point, I was like, "This is decent. I give this a 7. I think it's pretty good." And that just came in, and I was like,
Whoa,
"What the
whoa,
fuck?"
It only made the
a
song better.
7?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
And now I put it down to a 6 because I was just like, that ending bit just killed the amusement.
I'd give that song an 8.
I'd give
And
it like
that
a
was
9 or
only
something.
because I wasn't digging the acoustic guitar intro as much at the start as I kind of wanted to. But I could see myself marking that up to a 9 once I kind of get used to it.
I saw it as a country song with some like electronica elements over the top of it. I think country is a genre that really suit him.
Yeah.
He
has that sort of.
He
country
does.
voice.
He does.
yeah,
have
and he
that-
has like
that
the
time.
lyrics that just can kill, man.
So I'm gonna assume by the way that you dislike Snug Slacks that you also dislike Voodoo Doll.
No.
Really?
I really like Voodoo Doll.
But it had like the same LCD sound system kind of.
It did have the same sort of
Vibe
synth,
going to
and
it.
I thought the synth was still awful on this song. But I thought it was more funky, this one. I thought it had an interesting theme. I really liked the lyrics on this one. I thought it was quite clever. I thought some of the songs in here are seriously clever. And I
I think all the lyrics, all of them, are just amazing.
Yeah.
I
I think
really
the
don't
lyrics are
agree
great.
on some of these songs.
Really?
But yeah.
But for
Oh,
Voodoo Doll,
actually-
all of them I agree.
Moving on to track 8.
No,
Global
I
Warming.
wanted to stay with Voodoo Doll for a moment, if you don't quite mind that, sir.
Well, all I'm saying is I thought the lyrics on Global Warming weren't amazing.
Oh, get
I
a
like-
job.
I like the lyrics
you-
on Voodoo
you
Doll,
bum.
on Global Warming.
Okay.
But the Voodoo Doll, also the Voodoo Doll, the synth in Voodoo Doll at the end, sort of the more leader synth comes in later. That one was still bad sounding, but I think that he used it a lot more subtly, and so I didn't find it as.
Is that the one that had like a really long decay on it?
Might have been.
I really liked that. That was really
I
good.
think he used it well. It was playing a nice melody, and it wasn't too loud and forefront in the mix, and so I thought I could deal with it. And I was like, "This guy's."
For me, Voodoo Doll sounded like someone housed up a Lenny Kravitz song, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
That's all I'd say.
I don't know whether I would enjoy it if someone that housed up a Kravitz song.
You wouldn't think of doing it, but
Apparently it
John
works.
has.
Apparently it works.
Global Warming, I think, went back to the first song. It went back to that sort of style, more strings, less of the sort of synthesis
Yeah.
stuff that's on
The
there.
string backing was
It also
really
has very
good.
similar lyrics to the first one, like you might not like them as much, but subject matter wise, I think it's very similar to the first one, and I thought it would work pretty well. I was like, yeah, these three, this section here, Voodoo Dolls and Magma Arrives, was the one I'd heard on shuffle before the album that made me excited to hear it, because I think these are all excellent.
I thought the strings on Global Warming were
Lovely.
absolutely really good, really nice.
I just appreciate ballad writing. I don't think a lot of people do it anymore, and I actually really love that
What
kind
about
of
like
style of music.
Twinkle Song?
Watch our Miley Cyrus episode.
I want to quote some more lyrics from this. This is the only album I think I've quoted lyrics from yet, and I'm doing it twice. Upper class, middle class, lower class, sassafras.
Yeah,
My favourite.
Sassafras. That I think this was the first one on the album I heard, and just the intro lyrics, I was just like, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
I really like this.
I'm not saying that I dislike the lyrics on them, even though I probably did say that.
I think you did.
I feel as though I did say I didn't like them as much, but they were more direct, and I'm not a massive fan of direct lyrics, and that's just the way that I have. But
if you want to hear more of that, check out the Miley Cyrus one again.
yeah, exactly. As far as direct lyrics go, they were way better than Miley Cyrus's direct lyrics. But
I do think
I'm just not a massive fan of the style.
Okay.
Now we arrive at, in my opinion, the best song on the album.
Really?
Oh
When
yeah,
Magma Arrives.
dude, it was badass,
It was
wasn't
really
it?
good.
Really?
Really nice.
Okay.
A bit
Badass.
too much reverb, I think. The reverb at the beginning, especially, I thought it's a bit soaked, a bit too much. But the synths that he did use weren't awful sounding. They were more subtly mixed. Nice Rhodes again. The Rhodes came back and I like that. And the distorted bass was pretty decent.
I didn't like it that much.
I liked it.
I think it's one of the most amazing pieces of songwriting on the album.
Yeah, I think it was great.
I literally put the words "nothing great." But,
Wow.
You know,
Ooh.
that's,
From the
that's harsh, I
from the
know.
lyrics in the song, I'm guessing the song is about taking heroin
Yeah.
or some kind of drug.
I said about drugs. Question mark.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're good.
and
Lyrics are good.
and
Great.
then
Drugs are good.
It's also about like
That's not what I meant.
how awful the
Don't
side
take
effects
drugs,
are,
kids.
and like the recovery processes. And Magma
Yeah, I thought it
Arrives.
was great.
It's just
I really like the keys in the intro.
awesome.
Yes.
I really like the vocals in the intro.
Yes.
But I didn't think there was anything else that really stood out to me.
No.
Okay. As I said, for me, this was the worst song, but only because... And I gave it a 6, but I think I was just being over harsh. It's probably still 7. But
Black Blizzard.
Well, now we've moved from where we started to agree back to where you guys are going to hate me.
Black Blizzard.
Yeah, this is awful.
Do you like Kraftwerk?
Not incredibly.
Well then, yeah, I understand. I thought it was very,
I
very
feel like
Kraftwerk.
the
I would
lead-
describe this song as fun on the Autobahn.
I feel like the lead in this. I feel like the lead in this is so dissonant. It doesn't even deserve the name dissonant anymore. It just sounds out of tune. I thought it was just ugly sounding. It didn't make any sense. I thought it was awful, and I hated it. This song I gave it 2.
I liked the subject matter. I
Really?
read all the lyrics like from every single song because I thought the lyrics was like the main thing about
the
this
only reason
album.
it gets a 2 because I still like the lyrics. In this song. It was
I
alright.
think he's singing about because he lives in Iceland.
Hmm.
I think he's singing about the lack of sun during the winter period. You get like almost a month of complete darkness, and he's singing about the weird things that happen. And also, it just must be an interesting thing to experience in life, like to live through like a month of darkness. And it's a really crazy thing to happen because people go crazy. Like suicide rates go up dramatically. Like I think it's just a good subject matter for a song. Good lyrics, good song.
And to capture that, it was a dark song. Dark
Was.
lyrics. There was the vocoder that he used in it was really low pitch to
Yeah.
the point where you could almost not hear him. But it had that dark
Hmm.
kind of twisted element to it. And I thought that the chorus was quite chaotic in a way. Not to the extent in which Gareth thought it was chaotic, but I thought that it really applied to what the song was about, and I
Yeah, same.
thought it captured the vibe, the Kraftwerk vibe.
It was a Tour de France.
Yeah.
Kraftwerk song.
Oh, okay.
Disappointing.
Wow. I don't want to make the obvious joke about the title.
Was far from disappointing.
It was.
I did it for you.
I like this album. Lol, lol, lol. Is what I read. I think this was the worst song on the album. This is where everything broke down for me,
Again?
and I gave it a 1.
Again!
Like,
I think
oh,
it was
1?
So bad. Yeah. I think there was
Again?
nothing good
This-
about this song. Sims are awful.
Why is it
lyrics
the
were
ones
awful.
you hate the most are the ones that I think are the absolute
It's
best?
so fucking god awful, dude. Oh.
It was incredible. Disappointing is a great song. Upbeat bassline, which is what you don't get throughout a lot of the other songs on this album. Almost kind of a house vibe to it. At least in the first 20 seconds of it, I was like, this could be a house song.
Yeah.
And then he started singing. I was like, well, it's no going nowhere near house anymore.
I love the singing on this. It
The
sounded...
singing was incredible. The cutting synth that went in and out was really funky and awesome. It had a great flow to it. It had a shooby doo-wop in the frickin' background, which was wicked.
Everybody loves it.
And I think this is the track which has Tracy Thorn on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, does he also speak German in this song?
Yep. I'm shaking my head because I disagree with all the good things you're saying, but yes.
The chorus, again, in the way that we were talking about it in a couple of albums recently, where he'll start singing and then the instrumentation comes in. It waits a bar, that whole idea. I thought in this track it worked really well. And again, there was a fantastic synth solo.
I thought the synth...
I thought that this song, now that I remember it, this song is the one which has a really good synth solo.
Yeah,
at the end.
it is.
Absolutely incredible. I loved it.
No more tangles.
I felt as though
No
it
more
dropped
tears.
a little bit.
Kind of cool drum
L'Oreal.
processing thing going on with the sort of almost short 808 things that were going on the sort of the sides.
I felt as though it had a lot of the good elements of the album, but
Good
it
elements.
wasn't doing much.
This for me is the typical example of where I think everything on this album is mixed too far out. Everything on this album, everything on this song is too loud for me. Within the song, I think all of it is not subtle enough. I think this song was sort of decent, but everything was pushed too much, and I thought all the bits that were, for me, ugly sounding were just even more accentuated.
The problem I had with this track was that it was very slow paced, and it was about 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
And when you've got a really slow tempo song, everything feels as though
It's slower.
no way. Really?
Hmm.
Yeah. It feels as though it's a lot slower.
Science.
So that means that those 6 minutes kind of feel more like 8 minutes.
Well,
And
I think
it goes
this
on
is-
for a while.
It's one of the most emotional songs in the album, I felt.
The lyrics, really good,
Yeah.
Nice track.
but it wanted you to focus on the lyrics, but it didn't accompany it with anything that really grabbed my attention
Okay.
and kind of assisted it. As I said, it incorporated a lot of really good elements from the album, but it didn't really make a song of itself other than the lyrics.
Okay, shall we move on to Geraldine?
I thought exactly the same as what I've just said.
Really?
I preferred Geraldine. I thought Geraldine was a decent track. I really didn't like because I thought most of the sounds of this were good, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's a sort of nice final track feeling thing. Good sounds. There was one synth with a huge LFO on it, which I thought was really not nice sounding, and again mixed way too far out. But I thought it was a decent. It did have a shitty fade out, which I didn't like though.
Okay.
Just at the end, it just sort of fades out, and I'm like, I mean,
As I said, I felt as though that song incorporated a lot of the good elements. It was quite a slow-paced song, and it was quite a long song, but it focused on the lyrics. But again, I didn't feel as though it really had anything that made it stand out as, I'm going to go back and listen to Geraldine, other than for the lyrics.
I think I would go
wanted
back
a
to
little bit
Geraldine.
more. I wanted a little bit more.
This
I'd
was
still
another
give it a
ballad.
7. I'd still give it a 7. This is still a really good track, and you should listen to it. But
I'll probably
I
give it an 8
feel
or
as
9.
I'm not going to give it an 8 or a 9 for those reasons.
Okay. I loved the heartfeltness of it. It felt like a really, just I think he was singing about some of the adversities he had to go through being a gay man, and he's singing about this person called Geraldine who he's just hoping didn't have to go through some of the adversities he's gone through, which is a relatable kind of feeling. When you love someone a lot, you just hope, and something bad happens to you, think, wow, I hope they didn't have to deal with this. You think about your parents, did they go through this
The
when
lyrics
I was...
were incredible.
Yeah. Just fantastic, and it wraps up with the poem again, like it did. Like, you know, the intro was this
Decent
love
outro.
poem.
Decent outro.
Yeah, except this time it was
like the
read
outro
out
a
by
lot
a
more
child.
than the intro. Yeah, and I just commented, this can be summed up as child almost screws up poem, because she stutters for a bit, and you're like, come on, you can do it. But it was cute. I liked it.
Yeah,
I really like that.
the
I thought
album
that was a really good outro.
This poem opens and closes the album. The album is wrapped in a lot of love, humour, and emotion, and I think it's rather sweet.
Favourite
8 out of
tracks?
10.
8 out of 10.
Favourite
Yeah,
tracks to me,
okay, cool.
because we haven't even done favourite tracks.
We haven't done favourite tracks.
Yeah,
In
that's
this
what I-
You made me say favourite. I fucking hate you, Gareth.
Magma Arrives,
Yeah.
Okay.
Grey Tickles Black Pressure,
Okay.
Global Warming,
Right.
and then last either Geraldine or Voodoo Doll.
Grey Tickles Black Pressure. Snug Slacks. Guess How I Know. You and Him. And then Disappointing.
Mm.
And the outro. I like the outro. Even though it was only like a 30-second long outro of a kid saying a poem. I actually really liked it.
I think mine was probably Black Tickles.
I mean, and Grey Tickles.
Why did I write it down as Black Tickles here? It really like screwed me up through that. Yeah, the first song was a good song.
Second song. Intro was first.
No, it's the first song. Come on.
It's a song. Let's go.
It doesn't have any music
Let's
in
go.
it.
All right. So scores. Kit, what did you say? I wasn't listening.
Eight.
Eight. James.
8 out of 10.
Nice.
I'm gonna end on a down with a 5 out of 10.
The flippy flip.
Literally half of these songs I thought were decent to great, and the other half of these songs I absolutely hated and would never listen to again.
Well, next time Gareth is wrong on the Sonic Squeeze. And we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm Kit Campbell. He's James. He's Gareth. I gotta start giving you last names.
Nah.
Nah. Bye.
Predictions. I thought you two would like this more than me, but I couldn't bring myself to believe that you'd like it that much more than me.
Okay.
I thought you'd give it a 6 and you'd give it a 7.
Well, I didn't.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, you're just wrong, aren't you?
This album was so
Fantastic.
hard to listen to.
So hard to listen to. This is the most pleasurable album to listen to, I
no.
think.
Oh no.
Oh my god, and welcome to Sonic Squeeze once again. Once again, we're back. Once again, we're talking about music, talking about new albums. It's what we do. It's like our thing. So today we're talking about an album by John Grant. By the wonderful, beautiful John Grant. Thank you. And today, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of discussion is Grey Tickles, Black Pleasure. Black Pleasure? Oh, Black Pressure.
We're listening too much to Miley Cyrus.
You're under pressure. I know.
Grey Tickles. I can't speak anymore.
John Grant, Grey Tickles, Black Pressure.
Hold on, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Miley Cyrus had one of the best albums of the year.
The album title itself is actually pretty cool. It comes from the literal translation of an Icelandic and a Turkish phrase. Grey Tickles refers to approaching middle age, and Black Pressure comes from the Turkish word for nightmare. Oh, didn't know that, did ya?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I Wikipedia that too.
Damn you, internet. I love the album cover on this one.
It was kind of weird.
I know. It's like, I think it got across... Oh yeah, I heard something like
Yeah,
that.
there's sort of an on-beat roads going through it, which
Yeah.
sounded kind of Beatles-ish.
Yes, that was awesome. It introduced the rest of the album absolutely perfectly. Like, it kind of covered all of the bases, and then they were further explored in other songs. It was like dark, gentle, beautiful music, and it was amazing, and I love him.
I love this song. This song is excellent. Definitely. I really liked it.
Yep.
And his voice suits the music perfectly.
His voice can just do awesome things. It's so versatile.
It's like a vocoder.
Yeah,
But
which I can,
real.
Yeah. Finally, an artist who actually does it for realsies,
It was
for truesies,
absolutely amazing.
right away what the album was like about. It was telling you the album had a sense of humor, and oh my god, it does. It's a really funny album. What did you think of the introduction, the poem, the love poem?
I thought it was kind of weird,
I thought it was alright.
but I liked it.
As intros go, it's decent.
Yeah, I didn't think anything amazing of it, but I thought it was
What of that particular?
that particular introduction.
You know what? It made more sense
If you could speak
When you
other
get-
languages,
when it gets to the end of the album. I feel
yes, no, I agree with that.
It also,
in context with the whole album.
I feel like it gave a kind of religious
album,
vibe to it, which didn't turn up for a lot of the rest of the album.
Yeah.
But it was alright.
Yeah, it was all right.
Had a
So-
cool synth bit at the end. I liked that.
Yeah. So title track.
Yep.
Black Tickles, a pressure. I keep reading it as pleasure now. It's getting a
Black Tickles, and it was amazing. I'm saying it right
Black
now.
Tickle.
I think that song was amazing.
I think it's one of the best songs in the album, yeah.
Yeah, I think the lyrics, just the lyrics on
Looks
this
good.
entire album are just insanely good. The songwriting, insanely good.
Songwriting is good. I liked this kind of sort of, it was almost Beatles-ish, a Rhodes sort of on-beat like keys thing that I liked. There was some nice strings work. I think the
Rosie
strings
Rhodes.
work on this album.
Is that what you said?
You know, I don't think so. I hope not.
Rosie what?
Rhodesy piano.